Hi, Nick.
All right. Well, welcome to Kathy's Kitchen and my hot mess express of all the things, but we are empowered by coffee and cardio. Thanks to my girl Danielle Macaluso who made this shirt. We are just gonna have a fun time and we're gonna do 6 protein-packed meals because this is all about, to me, like having all the things ready for the grill, and I don't have to think about the grill time at all. There's some fun here going on, I know. But you know what? This is summer and we're just living life. Cheers to everyone who's prepping on the replay. All right, first one we're gonna do is balsamic herb chicken. I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of oil, whatever oil you got. One, two, easy peasy. We're gonna add, oh, I didn't get it out. My balsamic vinegar from Tastefully Simple. If you have not yet used this, you are missing out, guys. This is so good. It's a balsamic and herb avocado oil, is what I'm gonna say. And this just is such a great option. I probably didn't, now that I say this, didn't need to add in the oil because this has the oil in it, but we're just gonna roll with it. You can really see it's just so full of all the flavor and everything, and we're just gonna open it right up. I'm always having it. I don't know if you can see. I've got the balsamic and herb oil right here too. My other one, but we're just gonna open this one fresh. And I don't measure. If you know me, I am just not a measurer. So I measure with my heart. There's about one, and there's about two. I got a little extra of that oil, a little extra of the balsamic, good stuff. All right, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of rustic herb. I do have some rustic herb left. Reminder that a tablespoon is half a capful. A full capful is 2 tablespoons. That makes sense, right? All right, so we added that, and then we're going to add a little bit of Dijon mustard. I didn't have Dijon mustard. I shot my fridge. I'm just adding some yellow. It doesn't matter. If you have a little Dijon, use the Dijon. If you just want to use the yellow. I don't care. Not going to change the flavor much. And guys, that is it. There's about 1.5 pounds of chicken breasts that I put in here. We massage our meat. What that vinegar and that mustard are going to do is create this incredible marinade along with that rustic herb. We have had this on salads. We have had this just on a sandwich, plain chicken with some veggies on the side. All good ways to do it. You definitely want to make sure you flatten it out. Get that air. Can you see that right there? Yes, you can. Okay. Get the air out of your Ziploc bag because we all know air is the enemy to the refrigerator, or excuse me, the freezer. And there's our first dinner. Done. Balsamic chicken. Oh my gosh, that's a really fun one. Okay. Meal one done. All right. Meal number two is a grilled steak with a compound herb butter. I chose a couple of small sirloins instead of doing one big chunk of one. Totally your call. So to make this, we are going to actually add, I just double check real quick. Be and fluffy. Okay. Garlic, and rustic herb. Microwave with 1 tablespoon of water, 2 teaspoons of it. And then we're going to sprinkle the steak with seasoned salt and serve, oh, duh, to the cooled herbs. Okay. Sorry, I'm processing all the things there. So you can add your garlic, and your seasoned salt to oh my God, I can't talk. To your butter, softened butter. You can warm it up. I'm not going to warm it up. Mom don't got time for that. It does call for 2 teaspoons of the garlic. I'm probably going to put in a little more than that. I like a good flavor. I did about half a pack, so that would be about 1 tablespoon. And then 1 teaspoon of your garlic or your rustic herb. That is what I'm going to do. And we're literally making a compound butter that you can slice up after you've put it in the freezer and top your steak with. It's going to be super flavorful and delicious. I did mine in a baggie like this. You could also do it with saran wrap to create the log if you want. I like a baggie because I know I can just smush it and that way I don't have to like do anything else. It's just super easy. But I am going to turn it into a log by just squishing it all down to the bottom. I think you can see that. And all that flavor's there. So when I freeze it, it's going to be a frozen butter log, right? And then after I take it out of the freezer, I can cut it into my butter toppers for when we have our steak. So we're going to put that to the side. Now on our sirloin, we're just going to add 1 teaspoon of seasoned salt just to add that flavor, tenderize that meat. That's it. And it's about a little more than I don't know if you can see that. There you go. A little more than a teaspoon or so, but we're just going to put it right on our meat. We're going to zip that up, massage it all up. There we go. I love steak. Like it's one of my favorite foods, especially if it's nicely, like a good medium. I don't want it rare, but I don't want it charred or anything like that. And then I like to flatten it out. And we're gonna bag our bags with this one. So I'm gonna get another gallon-sized bag if I have one. I thought I had one right here, but we'll just go down and grab one. That's fine. Maybe I put the bag somewhere else. I don't know. I've got it. Oh, it was here the whole time. There it is. See, I knew what I was doing. We're gonna put our meat right inside the bag. And then our butter, compound butter, is gonna go right in there next to it. And we've got a grab and go steak dinner. Delicious. Don't have to think about what's for dinner. Grab a sip of your favorite bevy. This is a lavender gin and tonic, kind of like something I've made on my own. It's delicious. Highly suggest it. All right, 2 meals done. I don't have to worry about dinner this summer. All right. Okay, now we are on to rustic herb grilled shrimp, and I'm going to tell you how I make this work with frozen shrimp already. Pause. Okay. So the recipe actually calls for raw shrimp, peeled and deveined. So that's what I got in this big old bag. It calls for 1.5 pounds. I believe this is much bigger than that. This is 32 ounces. That's a pound is 16 ounces, right? So I got, oh yeah, 2 pound family. So I am going to take out about half of the shrimp. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do because I'm not going to actually skewer them now. All right. Because they're frozen, right? But what I am going to do is pour half the bat into this gallon-sized bag. And honestly, I may separate this into 2 bags because then I got 2 meals out of one big thing of shrimp. And I probably wouldn't do my shrimp any other way. It's not going to change the flavor or anything. All right, so let's just do that. In here, we're going to add some oil. I've got my little oil right here, and we're going to add our rustic herbs. So we're basically just creating the coating for it. Even though they're frozen, it's totally fine, I promise. All right, it calls for 1 tablespoon. I pretty much finished that bottle. I'm going to time to open another rustic. All right. It's my family. I can use my teeth. All right, we're going to do that over here. This rustic herb is probably one of the most underrated Tastefully Simple seasonings out there. We're going to give it its own little moment right there. Whoop, right there. Because truly, for vegetables, for meats, for so much, I just use it. Potatoes, roasted vegetables, anything that I'm doing like that, I am definitely using it for sure. There's just so much flavor. I actually call it Thanksgiving in a jar if you don't already know that, because it's just got all those like fresh flavors that you love at Thanksgiving, rosemary, thyme, all those different things. And we're just going to shake those up. And now we've got our shrimp that are ready. Again, it's totally fine that they're already frozen. And what I'm going to do is I've got skewers that are right here in a package. I write on them, and I'm just going to put shrimp. These are for the shrimp. So that way I didn't know I'm not going to use them. I'm going to put them right where I put all my other skewers, but I'm only using them for the shrimp. If you want, you could bag them with your shrimp too, whatever you want to do. Or if you have skewers that you use that are metal, then you don't even have to worry about that. But there's our shrimp. Isaac is going to be super excited about that one because he is my shrimp guy for sure. All right. Moving on, we're making burgers with this rustic herb now. Are you kidding me? This is so great. I'm making sure I'm not missing something. All right, yeah, we're good. All right, burgers, here we are. I actually had to defrost some, but this is probably one of the easiest things you can make. We're gonna take I had to separate mine into a couple baggies, but that's okay. Put our meat into one big bag. We're gonna do 1 tablespoon of rustic herb and 1 teaspoon of seasoned salt. All right, so 1 tablespoon, half a capful. There you go. And 1 teaspoon of seasoned salt, which is basically what I have left in the jar. So I'm just gonna pop that in there. We're just getting rid of all the things. And this is one that you definitely want to take some time where you're massaging your meat. You really want to make sure you're not getting a big pocket of seasoned salt because that's just nobody wants a salty burger. You don't want a big pocket of rustic herb because too much flavor is not good either. You just want a nice blend of all the things. If your bag is too tight like this, I don't know if you can see, just let some air out. Then it makes it a little easier to squish up. And then I'm going to show you how I make my patties. Okay, so most people know I love to make my rectangular patties, and that is what I am going to do right now. But one thing I have also been doing that I have found, especially if you like to do smash burgers, is to take little pieces and roll them into balls, and then they kind of are individual burgers. You can kind of pull them out that way, and then smash them on the grill. But because I know that my family, there's going to be everyone home during the summer for the most part, and we will use all of these as opposed to like during the school year where it's just like Gary and I and Evie or something like that. I am going to make this my full way I normally do my patties. I'm going to put this so you can kind of see it over here. I'm smoothing out all my meat. And then I'm going to seal it like this. Okay, so now you can kind of see that. Got to put my name on there, Rustic or Rustic Burgers. There we go. Okay, so now we do the karate chop method. Ready? So we're going to karate chop right down the middle. You can even fold it if you really want to seal the deal on that. And then we're going to break it into threes. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So really, you have created 6 patties, and this makes it so much easier to stack in the fridge, but you could also pull them out one at a time too. It's such a time saver, space saver, all the things. And if you don't have to make all 6 at once, you could pull out a couple at a time. These are great. All righty, we are ready for our grilled balsamic chops, which apparently I do not have my recipe for. I thought I did. Hold on, be patient. All right, I'm gonna pause. I'll be right back. All right, well, I didn't have that one, but you know what we're gonna do? While you are looking at me, I'm gonna be double checking the recipe online. So we're gonna go right here. And that is one cool thing. And I think I sent everyone who has been doing this protein pack my favorite. So you have access to all the recipes. If you just go to that link I sent you, and it will send you all those recipes. It's called Meal Prep Protein Pack, and you will see all of them right at your fingertips. All right, here we go. Yep, this is, I thought it was pretty easy, but literally this is all we're doing. We're add a little bit of oil. Again, you don't have to do too much oil because this one has the balsamic and herb in there. So we're just gonna add a half a cup of this. So this is kind of heavy on it. So go ahead, give it a heavy hand, but you're adding so much flavor. I'm gonna add just a little more. Very, very good. And that's all this is. You're just adding a ton of flavor. You're tenderizing the meat. It's going to be delish. Oh, I didn't add my rustic herb. That's not all it. I gotta add my rustic herb, silly goose. 2 tablespoons of that. And again, it basically is making this um, incredible marinade using the pork chops or using the rustic herb and the balsamic. You know what I meant on the pork chops. Words are hard. Oh my goodness. And we're going to get all our air out of that one. Again, I like to lay them flat in my freezer. It definitely makes it easier to take them out, makes it easier in the freezer and space-wise. And when you go to defrost it, it actually defrosts easier if it's not all wonky and crazy, all the things, which I may or may not have used to do all the time. All right. We are on to our last one, and this is probably the messiest one. I hate mixing cream cheese with a passion, but this calls for cream cheese. This one, you stuff your chicken with the cream cheese mixture, and technically you're supposed to wrap it with bacon. I told you to get pre-cooked bacon, and I will tell you why. Because I don't like to wrap things with bacon, but all you have to do is put your pre-cooked bacon on top of your chicken and it will do the same thing. I promise you. So that's how I make it. But if you did real bacon or whatever, you do you, that's fine. I just don't like it like that. All right. There's that. Let me get a paper towel or a towel here. Here we go. All right. So again, this one is going to be a little messy. We're going to take our artichoke and spinach dip and save the other one for either another dinner, or you can also make it into a really great dip, obviously. I love to make it into a veggie pizza. So delicious that way too. All right, so we're going to put it right in there. And we're just going to mix up our cream cheese with our artichoke spinach. Pretty easy here. We're making that filling. I did put a slit on my chicken. In my chicken, I did that before I put that into the bag. You do not have to. You could just spread it on top of the chicken when you go to bake it. Like you could take this whole cheese ball and just put this all into a baggie and then spread it on top of the chicken and then layer it with the bacon and you're fine. Like that is absolutely fine. I thought I would go fancy and actually stuff my chicken. Not a huge fan of it, but I will do it just for you guys. All right. So I'm going to actually put the stuffed chicken in a different bag so that way I know which ones have been stuffed and which have not. All right. We put my bag down. So I've got my first chicken breast. Found the hole. You can kind of see it right there. So many thoughts. Okay, we're filling it. Maybe. Ah, chicken is alive. Let's hope not. We obviously will not use this dip for anything other than this, and that's okay. So we can kind of put our knife back in there, and then I'm just going to put it nicely down in my bag. And this one, where she's open right here. She's kind of filleted, but that's all right. Kind of take it, smush it. I mean, if you got kids who are loving what's the word? What are they into right now? Stress balls. This is kind of like a stress ball-ish. Maybe not. That might have been too much. I don't know. All right, let's put some more in there. We've got this one. We're pushing it down in there. Perfect. All right, this one. Let's see, where did I make the slit? Oh, right there, right where my thumb was. So many thoughts. All right. But yeah, the artichoke and spinach again is one of those that people think, oh, you can only make a dip or it's just like Applebee's or whatever. And it is. It's an incredible dip. I hardly ever make it as a dip. I use it for dinner a lot. Alfredo, incredible with Alfredo. It's also incredible, like I said, on a pizza. What was the other thing I did with it recently? It wasn't Alfredo, but it was like a one pan dinner. And then like we just kind of did all the chicken in it and everything like that. Oh, I know what it is. It's the with it's spinach and chicken and it's an artichoke and spinach chicken one pan dinner and it's currently actually one of the one pan dinners on sale. Very, very good. And you can use your second packet to make that. If you need that recipe, just let me know and I will send that to you. And the rest of your garlic, and you definitely can make that. All right, give me a second. I gotta wash these hands. All right, toss this. This is getting tossed because it's gross. All right. And now I've got my stuffed chicken breast. We're gonna zip her up. And we're gonna get all those goodies, those chicken breasts, all nice and flat, ready to go. And that's it. That is all the meals. We made 6 ready to go, protein packed dinners. So delicious. I will say too that artichoke and spinach dish. Oh, you know what? That artichoke and spinach dish, I forgot. I wanted to pack my bacon with it. So I'm going to actually take it out of the package like that and then bag my bags. If you were someone who wanted to grill that, I would actually grill the chicken. Then I would put the bacon on it at the end and then use the cream cheese mixture as a topper to that. So almost like a smear on top. So it'd be like a little bit inside out stuffed chicken. I think I just made that word up. I don't know. All right, there we go. Now we're good to go. All right, guys. Happy cooking. I'm sorry we weren't able to meet in person. It really kind of made me very sad. Darn wind and weather. You just can't, it just happens, right? Things like that happen, but it is what it is. And I hope you're doing well. And thanks for joining me in Kathy's Kitchen. Bye.